And now we're going to Maryland, and we're going to Sharon. Hi, Sharon. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am rocking and bopping, except for the fact when we started the program today, I kept tripping over my tongue. Otherwise, I'm okay. How may I help you today?
I've just gone through my fourth divorce.
Hmm.
I call him Peter Pan because he's never satisfied and doesn't want to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
And after he left me for a cabin. He wanted his own cabin, and he told me he was leaving on my birthday 2 years ago.
I'm sorry.
We're friends, but I think he wants to use me.
What does that mean, Sharon?
Just to be there for when he needs companionship.
Okay.
I asked him why he never considers the consequences of his actions, like the hurt that he inflicts.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, I didn't want you, but I didn't want anybody else to have you. So I keep getting those type of hurtful messages. And I just don't want to be hurt anymore.
I don't blame you for that. If I may ask, how old is this fellow?
We are seniors, 69, and I'm 71.
Okay. And who divorced whom?
He left me, and I pushed the issue for him to decide what he wanted. And I gave him the paperwork, and I said, if you want a divorce, you take care of it. He was at the courthouse the next day.
Okay. But you had gone ahead and done all the paperwork ahead of time for that to occur, correct?
I did.
Okay.
I couldn't take it languishing anymore.
Okay. And do you want to put this marriage back together?
I don't think we can. He's got his cabin now. I had my own house, which he used to live in, and we're pretty much settled now in our senior years.
Okay. So how is it that I can help you?
How do I prevent myself from being hurt? Should I cut it off entirely?
If indeed you are happy as you are, in other words, you're old enough to say, I don't necessarily need another companion, and I'm going to be fine without a companion, then you obviously have the right to make that choice. You already are divorced. If your interactions with him are causing you pain, it's simple enough to stop the interactions. If, on the other hand, you're thinking, well, maybe we could put this back together, that's a different story. But I just heard you say, I don't think we can. Well, if that's the case, if you don't think you can, at your age and his age, if you don't want to be hurt anymore, you can cut off all contact if that's what you wish to do. Is that what you really want to do?
I miss the connection.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I miss the connection.
Well,
I want to be loved.
I don't blame you. I don't want you blame you for wanting to be loved. If you want to be loved, then understand that every relationship is a risk. You know that. You said you've been through 4 divorces. So every relationship is a risk. But maybe, my friend, maybe, Sharon, what you do is that you kind of lower the bar a little bit. Now, listen to me carefully. I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying here. Don't expect him to be perfect, because he won't be. It's not a possibility. Nobody can. But if you want companionship, if you want to feel loved, then having those kind of conversations with him is certainly worthwhile to do. And you say he's living up in his cabin, I'm living here. I was reading a study the other day. Now, I know that you're not a statistic, but I was reading a study the other day that seniors who get married typically have better marriages if they don't live together. In other words, if you get married as a senior, if you get married at your age, that because you have your own lifestyle and the things that you do in your house, and he has his cabin and the things that he does, that often couples in that scenario actually do better to be with each other, not every day. They still live apart. but they're together and they talk together on the phone, they interact with each other by email, whatever. They spend time together, but still have their independent identities, which is part of what happens when you become a senior. Now, two, like Alice and me, Alice and I, we've been married for over 50 years. And so it wouldn't work for us to want to live apart because we're part of each other where we've been living together for most of the 50 years. There was a little sabbatical back in the middle back there. But for a situation like yours, then you may want to consider the possibility of, let's talk about putting it back together, but still living apart, but interacting with each other so that we do feel loved and we do have companionship. It might be something you might want to look into.